Welcome to the Behind the Board on EQing vocals. So here's another EQ behind the board here. We're going to be talking instrument-specific EQs, and this one will be on vocals, which is probably the most fun of all the EQs to do because you're working with a real voice, and it changes every single time. It's not like a tom where you want to do similar things to most toms. On vocals, everyone is very individual, and we got to pick out the parts that aren't working for us. So let's start out with this Vox track. I gave us two tracks, one light singing, one heavy singing, so we could affect both of those a little bit differently with our EQs. So let's go to Inserts, Plugin, EQ, EQ3, 7-band. And here we are, we're about to do some sweeps. We'll use our orange one, our LMF, Q to 10, gain to 12. Even before we do this, this is another instrument where I like, this is vocals are another part of a recording that I like to go ahead and throw the high pass filter on. Your voice is not this low. Everything down here in the 100 frequency, 100 hertz area, you don't speak it, it doesn't come out. Anything that you're hearing from there would probably be sound from the room or from that person's headphones or whatever it might be coming from. Let's just get it out of there, not have it affect our mix. So all I did is press the in button, change the Q to 12, and I put my frequency to what looks to be 162, right around there. And that is that. So let's now start our sweeps on this soft singing one. I'll show you what it sounds like without anything in there, just to take this in. And you'll be able to hear what we start with.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this anymore.
All right, so nothing's really popping out at me as, wow, there's parts we really got to take out, but we're going to find them with our sweeps, so let's start sweeping with our orange one here.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this anymore.
Right there, it seems like we have some issues right there. I'll adjust the Q to take out all the bad sound we could find.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this.
Right, that's popping out. I have my Q down to about 8. I'm going to take that out about -6 dB.
We sit remains intact, and I can't.
All right, that is gone. Let's go to our yellow one, do similar sweeps. We'll start right where we left off, right around where the orange one is.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this anymore.
All right, there's some squeakiness right over here.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this anymore.
It's not extreme, and it looks to be very sharp. I'm going to leave it at 10 and just take it down like 2. Let's go to our green guy, do another EQ sweep with him. We'll start where we left off.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this anymore.
Nothing real big there.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk.
That we don't want. So right around 1.87, it sounded pretty rough to me here. Let's adjust the Q, make sure we get all of it.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this anymore. We sit remains intact, and
that is it. 1.87 is pretty much the perfect spot, it looks like. And I have my Q right about 8. I'm going to pull down quite a bit. I'm take that out. Let's go to 5, -5 dB.
We sit remains intact, and I can't.
Great. And we'll use our last one, our high filter. Remember, we got to change it from the shelf mode to the regular mode. Throw our Q up and our gain up and see if there's anything real high for us.
We sit remains intact, and I can't stand to talk about this anymore.
Nothing really popping out at me. I'm happy with the EQ I just made right here. If you want to keep EQing, get it to sound exactly how you want, go ahead, mess around with it a little bit more. Remember, you still have this blue one, you still have this red one if you want to switch it off its shelf mode to its regular Q mode. And you could stack EQs. Always remember, you could stack them. You could go ahead and put another EQ 7 band on right there and have 7 more bands to work with. Let's go move on to the chorus section. That's chorus vox. That's where he's singing out quite a bit more. And we'll throw on, you guessed it, an EQ 3/7 band mono. Toss that on. Same thing with the high pass filter. Throw the Q up to about 12. Make sure you press the in button to bring it in and bring your frequency right to around 160. Get rid of all the stuff that we shouldn't be hearing. And now let's start our sweeps with our orange guy right here. Here we go.
I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in your eyes. I don't wanna be another enemy.
So right around there, that's starting to hit.
I don't wanna be another enemy.
It hits on certain notes, but that's okay. We don't want that popping out too much. That might just mean we don't want to take it down a lot. We want to take it down a little.
I don't wanna be another enemy.
And as I adjusted the Q, it started to become much more pronounced. So right around 8, it became more pronounced. I'll take it out there. I'll go -3 on that. It's not that bad.
I don't wanna be another.
Great, great. So let's move on to this yellow fella, our middle frequency. Q on 10, gain on 18, and start where you left off. Let's find another spot.
I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in your eyes. I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in.
It's the only spot that's sticking out to me.
I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall.
So let's take that down a little bit as well. Same type of thing, 3.
I don't wanna be another.
Great. Now let's get a little more towards the high end with this green one. We swept this whole area. We'll start from around here.
I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in your eyes. I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in your eyes.
Something around here. We just got to really pinpoint it.
I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in your eyes. I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in your. I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory. Don't wanna fall in your eyes. I don't wanna be another enemy, another memory.
It is right around there. It's not drastic. I'm going to take it down just a tiny bit because I don't want it to sound squeaky at any point. Sometimes these things really pop out at you, sometimes they don't. And when they don't, you want to adjust to it differently. You want to adjust by taking it down a little. When they really, really pop out, adjust by taking it down a lot. You have to make your choices with that sort of thing. Really learn what sounds good to your ear and what's going to sound good in your mix. So right now, just learn what sounds good to your ear because we're not up to mixing yet. We're not going to put everything together. We're just going to learn about EQing and kind of train our ears how we want things to sound. And then when we start hearing the instruments interact, we'll know what we want the final product to sound like, and we'll be able to go ahead and use our ears to create it. So start training your ears by doing these EQs. We're doing a ton of them. It should take a bunch of time. You should really, really dig into it. This is the best training you could get when it comes to EQing, just doing it yourself, hearing it, and making sure it sounds great. But thanks for being with me on this one, and I'll see you on the next one.